Hi, I'm Helena Patience from Entreflow Consulting Group. Thanks so much for your interest in this video today, and please remember to subscribe to find out about other great videos that we've got to share with you. So today I've got a really interesting topic. It's all about working remotely, and I want to share with you what I learned working as an employee, working remotely, and how I've used those learnings to help support my team who is also working remotely. So just a quick stat for you, because I'm an accountant and I love stats. According to Forbes, telecommuting is up 115% since 2015. So what does that mean? It means there's a lot of people who are working remotely these days. And what I've learned during my time working remotely is that it really isn't for everybody. It's not as easy and beautiful as people usually think it's going to be. So I'm going to give you some tips about relating to what I learned working remotely and how you can apply this to your life to help you be successful in this new working environment. So I guess first I'd like to start off with how it all started for me. So I was working for a company in Victoria and decided to move to Vancouver, so I went to go hand in my notice, and my boss kindly handed me a laptop and a phone and asked me to work from Vancouver instead. So I took her up on that offer and was working for 9 months in Vancouver, working remotely, doing a job that I had already done before. And it was very fascinating to see how that very same job description had changed in my day-to-day. So here's a couple things I learned. First of all, without structure, you will fail. It's really important to have a set structure for yourself in the week. So when are you going to be working? What are your hours? When are you taking your breaks? So that you have some structure to keep yourself focused. The next one is to set boundaries based on your set schedule. It's really easy to become that person who everyone can access in the evenings, on the weekends, because you're working from home. It's really important to set strong boundaries with your team so that they know this is when you're going to be available and this is when you're not going to be available. So your home life and your work life are separate. Next, you need to leave your workspace. It's really easy to sit down at your desk and work 6 hours straight and not take a break when you don't have distractions like you would in an office. So it's good to have, some activities that you schedule in. Maybe you go to a yoga class, maybe you go for a run at your lunchtime or at a certain time in the day. Schedule some coffee dates or some lunch dates with people. It's good to help you keep refreshed and keep you efficient, but also it's good to have that little bit of social interaction during the day too. Okay, the next is to live and die by your to-do list. I like to apply the Brian Tracy ABCDE method of tasks prioritization, as it really helps me to focus on the most important tasks first in the day so that I feel like I make a really good traction. This also requires you to be organized with your work so that you're setting yourself up for success every day. You want to make sure that you have everything that you need in place when you go to sit down at your desk first thing in the morning so that you can cross those tasks off your list. The next one is to take control of your notifications. So turn your Facebook notifications off, unless it's required for work. But you can silence your phone. Put the radio on if it helps you, but if it's distracting you, turn it off. Make sure that you are not getting distracted, because it's very easy to get pulled away and focus on other things that are not related to your work. Next is to find your flock. So if you're struggling with this new way of working, find some other people that are already doing it. Maybe you want to go work in a coffee shop with them for the day, or maybe go to a co-share working space of some kind so that you've at least got some structure. If you're sitting at home and you're finding yourself very easily distracted, get out of your home environment and get some tips from those people that have been doing it for a long time. Accept that it's a transition in and out. So when you're used to working in an office environment and you transition to working remotely, it's going to be a bit of a transition. It's going to take a little while for you to find your groove about when you're most effective during the day and where. And then as well, it's just as much of a transition moving out of that working environment. So for me, that was actually the biggest surprise when I stopped working remotely and had to go back into an office environment. It was really challenging for me. I was used to having autonomy over what I was doing and when I was doing it during the day, and that was taken away. That made it really hard for me, especially when I was way more productive working at home than I was in the office because of the number of distractions in the office. And then be honest with yourself. So working remotely isn't for everyone. Some people get distracted too easily. They don't do their best work without other people around. They need a lot of input from other people, and maybe they're having a hard time getting that over the phone or over, online, Google Hangout or whatever kind of webinar you use. So if it's not working for you and you've given it a solid go, then just cut your losses and go back to doing what you're doing before, because it can be very challenging for certain people. Okay, so that's what I learned when I was working remotely, and next I want to talk to you about what we do as a team, what I do as a manager managing a team that was working remotely to help our team be successful. So the team has to get together regularly. The culture is really important for us at Entreflow, and so what we do is we get together once a week for a weekly team meeting, and we do a whole whack of cool things to help build the business from a creative and a operational perspective. We share information, we help solve problems, and it's just great to make sure that everybody knows that we're all here to support each other and help each other grow, and to get to know each other too. It's also a good time for us to focus on our vision and the things that we need to do to help move us in the direction of our vision. The next is tools for communication are key. So you have to make it really easy for the team to communicate together. So, do you have some sort of way for them to communicate online, for messaging, maybe Slack or something like that, video conferencing, it's not. We also have project management software in place so that we can keep track of our projects really easily and where everybody is at with that. But put the structure in place so that it's not all done through email, which can be a little bit challenging. Next is the weekly one-on-ones, which I think are definitely required. If you're not seeing your team as often, having those weekly one-on-ones in place to see how everyone's doing and checking in with them on where they're stopped, any challenges they're having, is super key for them to know that you're there to support them and to help them with any roadblocks right away. We also do a daily scrum, so we get everyone onto a Google Hangout for 10 minutes at the start of each day, and everyone shares what they're up to for the next 24 hours and any challenges that they have in place or anything they're excited about. And it again helps with the culture building, making sure everyone is getting to know each other, but also it helps me as a manager to see where everybody's at in all their different projects. Without a vision and defined processes, you'll fail. Again, the team has to know exactly where the ship is going and have the tools in place to make sure that they can actually get their work done. So that the processes need to be well defined so that everyone's doing what they need to be doing in an effective way. And finally, feedback is super, super important. And it's important to give it right away. So if anything comes up, if there's any challenges or feedback from clients or what have you, it's important to talk about those things right away before they become a big issue. So that's basically what I've implemented for our team to help them be successful. If you have any other things that you do that's helped your teams or that you do as a remote worker, please add them below to share with everyone else who comes here. Again, really pleased to have you watching our video. Thank you so much, and please subscribe to hear some more tidbits on how to run a business. Thanks so much.